Sir, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault, and you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict, and boy do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they have got the wrong guy there.
Got the wrong guy, and the dog was biting him.
He roughened him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
Is the next search on February 28, 2020? 7:44 p.m. How, does the FBI find people? The people is misspelled P-E-O-O-P-L-E. Did the defendant find out how the FBI finds people in this case? Oh, she found out.
What more do you need to see? Because he's the guy. He's the guy.
Alrighty, welcome back to the Court of Public Opinion. I did not get any rest. I did not get any sleep. Oh my goodness.
I saw a chicken fight.
If they didn't, I would lose my mind.
I tell you what I did do. I called Sweetwater, my company that I'm getting the new switcher from. I talked over with Charlton, my sales rep, some of the things, some of the questions I had, some of the equipment. With the upgrade, it's going to be a little bit different, so I wanted to make sure everything was going to work together properly. But we're getting closer at getting this fixed, which I'm super excited about. Welcome back to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict. Please take your seats. I think I turned the seats on, right? Let's see. I have no idea who's first in chat. Zero. Oh, wait. Yes, I do. It was Kim. Here we go. Kim, where are you at? There you are. All right. Boom. Kim, first in chat. Kim R., congratulations. Kim, you've won many times before, and now you've won again. So we'll add this to your permanent record. You were first in chat, and as such, we are sentencing you to internet ownership. Yeah, that's right. We're punishing you for a good deed. But the internet is all yours, my friends. Congratulations. And a little bit of good riddance. I can wash my hands of this and send it off to somebody else. Again, keep it running for us. We'll all be happy. Thank you very much. Oh, Greeners came in right off the top, gifting 5 memberships. 5 wanted. Hey, Boy Mama X3 just got gifted a membership in that batch from Greeners. Thank you very much, Greeners, for your generosity. We are returning to the trial that is happening in Judge Boyd's courtroom, which is a murder. It's a jury. It's a murder trial. It was a car accident. There's allegations of DUI. Did I hire a switchboard operator? No, it's just me. I just touch all the buttons at once. But we're excited. We're returning. Honestly, we're about half an hour behind, and I'm sorry, that's my fault. But I just needed to take a breath and stretch my legs and walk around, and I thought I was going to lay down and sleep, but dealing with the things that the family has coming up with, obviously the unexpected, the graveside service and things that are coming up. We're just trying to sort all that out. So. It's not with us immediately. It was my wife's sister's child that she was pregnant with that passed away. So anyway, we're excited. We're excited that we get to be there with them for that, and so that's good news. But it does require a little bit of shuffling of schedules and things. So we'll make that work so we can be there. We are. Let's see, where are we at? Judge Boyd. Reset the volume. We'll pull this up right here. Judge, are you there? Are you there, Judge? Okay. We are coming back from lunch right now. The same officer's on the stand. He's going to take a little bit, honestly. He's listening to his radio? What's he doing? He's sleeping? Head on his shoulder? But, I can ask you this because I don't have any family that on that side of the family that watches. I'm extremely fortunate in that I have not had immediate family members pass. The closest I've experienced was losing a grandparent. I don't know, and possible. I'm asking you. I don't know. I don't know how to say this. When you lose a child through a miscarriage that's this far along. And the process for graveside service, are the funeral costs similar to what you might say would be a traditional funeral. Can somebody explain? I want to ask my wife's sister, but I don't want to at the same time approach that. I just want to understand so I know how to help if that's something that is it. Okay. I don't know. So wouldn't assume so. I just honestly I don't know how to ask them the question, and I mean that's the last thing I want to bring up to them is, well, how much is this going to cost you? It just seems it's something I want to help with if it's something that they need help with, but I'm in over my head in this sort of situation. All I can do is be a shoulder to cry on and give them a hug. But okay. Oh man, Gabby, that is awesome. That is awesome. That's really cool. It is JVA. Thank you. I had hesitation even just talking about it because it's sad that I don't know how to help, and that's like the only resort I can think to is like, how can I help? Well, maybe I can relieve some financial burden. Is that something? But I want to definitely do something that does help, and I definitely don't want to insult. So, Gally May says we have a baby plot section in our cemetery. Definitely not the same cost. Okay. Call a funeral home in the area and ask. That's a great idea, Gail Pet. Thank you. Candace, I want to do that, but I'd like to have some information going into that. And I know, I mean, they just got back from the hospital yesterday. They sent us pictures, the baby pictures and things that were taken there, which is wonderful. The groups that do that are absolutely amazing. So, all right. I think it's just a graveside service, and so I don't know. I have so little experience in this area. I don't know. Okay. We're waiting for Judge Boyd to come back. I'm going to fast forward just a tiny bit to see if okay, there's a stand up. There we go. All right, here we go.
And defense, I believe it's still your witness on cross. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Hey, officer, how you doing?
Doing good, sir.
So I think we just got to the point, we dealt with the policy that you're aware of the policy we're dealing with traffic accidents, right?
Yes, sir.
And the need to warn vehicles and oncoming traffic of any danger.
Yes, sir.
Using either your vehicle.
Yes, sir.
Or flares.
Yes, sir.
Right, so what we're seeing now, I think this is States 1 or 2? 2. States Exhibit 2, this is your body camera, right? So I think the timestamp on it is 2:07:26. This is your camera, right?
This attorney's like
and
pushes
this
his
is
chair
you walking away from the first scene, the wrong way driver, right, back to your car.
Yes, sir.
And we'll fast forward it because we don't want to waste the court's time, but it probably takes you 3 minutes to walk back to your car. Would you agree with that? It takes the time.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah. What we're seeing now, you'd agree, is the traffic that was backed up from the first accident.
Yes, sir.
You parked your car behind, right?
Yes, sir.
And so what we've seen there is that on the way you've encountered a witness from the first incident, right? I don't want to hear what they said, but that's what happened there that we just saw.
No, sir. That was the husband of the wife.
Yeah, from the first incident.
Yes, sir.
The first accident, a witness, a person involved slightly in that first incident approached you, you spoke to him, that's what that person was?
Just by relation, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. And now you're still walking to your car, and it's taking you nearly 3 minutes to walk back, right?
Yes, because he left his kid in the car, so I wanted to escort him back to his car.
Yeah, quite right, because the kids were in a running car, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and that's the car on the left-hand side.
Yes, sir.
Stuck in the traffic jam that's been caused by the accident.
Yes, sir.
Right. And your car is still further back behind that. And your car's towards us, right? You walk past your car, you're going to walk back to your car, right?
Yes, sir.
And so here it's 11 minutes past 2 in the morning. The fatal accident still hasn't happened. That's your car there, right? That we see in the screen.
It looks like it, sir. I had to look at the vehicle number.
Well, we'll look in a second because I think you get into it, right? But you can see on the screen there is a line of traffic behind your vehicle.
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm not suggesting it goes onto the horizon, but as far as the video is concerned, that line of traffic, I'm sorry, Jason, that line of traffic goes on as far as we can see on the screen.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And to the best of your knowledge, because you're not there alone, right? You're not the only officer at that scene.
No, sir.
That no one, dispatch hasn't sent someone to the back of that line of traffic.
No, sir. We didn't ask for more.
All right. Well, so you didn't ask for one, but no one else thought, oh, I know what we should do. Because of our policy, someone needs to go and warn traffic.
Correct. But all of our cars are trapped in the traffic as well.
But there are other vehicles. What I'm saying is there are other vehicles in North Patrol that could have come and helped you out, right?
It's a possibility. I don't know which officers were available.
I know. I'm not saying that you do, but my point is that no one came and helped you.
Correct. Yes, sir.
Apart from the other two officers that went to the scene.
The original 3 of us, yes, sir, that were just.
Yeah. Dispatch didn't send someone to the back of that line of traffic extending into the distance.
No, sir.
Because at the time you're walking back there, you're aware of that policy 707, right?
Yes, sir.
You're aware of the need to, because we said everything in these policies is for a reason, right?
Yes, sir.
It's probably because sometimes people are distracted or whatever, but they run up on accident scenes and they need to be warned, right?
Yes, sir.
And no one has warned them. Oncoming traffic.
Just the initial few that made the scene.
Yeah, but no one has warned that traffic behind you at the end of that traffic line, have they?
They weren't aware of a crash, but they were aware that traffic was stopped.
Well, but yeah, I didn't ask you that. But no police car was parked at the back of that line of traffic with the flashing lights.
No, sir. The new line, no, sir.
There were no flares at the back.
No, sir.
You didn't ask anybody to do that.
No, sir.
You didn't do that.
No, sir.
Your colleagues could have done. Right?
If we had available, yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know, but there's not just three of you on duty that night, right? There's not just you, Officer Lechuga and Officer Rodriguez, is there?
No, sir. There's more.
No. So there are other people who could have done it.
If they're available, yes, sir.
It's not just you, officer, is it?
No, sir.
No, you're a team, you're a whole department. So someone could have done it.
Yes, sir.
And they didn't.
Like I said, I don't know if they're available or not.
I know. We don't know if they're available. What I'm saying is no one warned the people at the back of that line of traffic that there was a wreck.
No, sir.
Thank you. Right. Thank you. So you go, we're stopped at 211, and I think that your testimony before was that you were completing your computer checks, as is your policy and procedure, right, in your car. And I think the next thing that happened is that you stated that Officer Lechuga and maybe Officer Rodriguez ran to your position because they presumed that you'd been involved in a wreck.
Yes, sir.
Right. And obviously you can't testify for them, but they presumed that because they thought you were the last vehicle in that line of traffic, right? Probably.
I can't think for them, sir, but they just presumed that I was involved in a crash.
They presume that you're probably because you're at the back and they think someone's come and slammed into you, right?
I'm going to object to speculation.
Sustained.
But you said that they presume you're involved in a wreck and you weren't, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that is about 22. And then, so what you did then is you got out of your car and I think it's about 2:20 on the time stamp. Here we are. So there we are. Right, we'll stop there. So this is you doing stuff on your mobile data terminal or whatever you call it, your computer, right, in your car.
Yes, sir.
And you're probably inputting stuff and doing checks on the first folks, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And this is when your colleagues come up to you and say, "Hey, did you hear that?" Or whatever they said, right?
Yes.
And based on the information they told you, you start making your way. I guess would it be south on 281?
Yes, sir. Southbound and the northbound.
Okay. And then we can at 2:19:36. think we might have to. That's you actually filling out a ticket on the screen right now, all right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Right, and this is, so if we pause for a second, we're at 2:23:42, right?
Yes, sir.
And this is your colleagues informing you that they'd heard that there might have been another accident.
Yes, sir.
So this is about 20, so I think we had said that you'd arrived at 1:56.
Yes, sir.
On scene. So you were originally the last vehicle in the line of traffic. That was as far as you could drive to walk down towards the scene of the wrong way driver.
Yes, sir.
23 minutes have passed since then.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
So you've got 23 minutes worth of highway traffic parked up behind you.
Yes, sir.
At this point, you make your way on foot, you start to walk, you said, and then in fact, you run when you identify there's been a crash. Is that kind of what happens next?
Yes, sir.
And we're going to play the video at 2:23. 44, that's Officer Lechuga and Rodriguez, and then you're going to start moving off, right?
Yes, sir.
Whose vehicle is that in the shot there?
It was one of theirs.
Okay. And this one we're looking at now is yours, right?
It looks to be, yes, sir.
Yeah. And so now what we're doing is we're watching you walk. We're going to watch you walk through the traffic that has blocked up or built up behind your car to the scene for Mr. Castro, right?
Yes, sir.
And is Mr. Castro the first person that you encountered that was involved in the wreck?
No, sir.
He wasn't? Okay. It was the driver of the HEB truck?
No, sir. It was the driver of the Volkswagen.
Volkswagen, yeah, right. So you've been walking 2 minutes, maybe. At this point, the timestamp is 2:25.
Yes, sir.
I think you left your car at 2:23.
It's roughly about that, yes, sir.
Roughly 2:23, so it's roughly 2 minutes, and you're walking past high-sided vehicles on the screen there.
Yes, sir.
And you're still not at the end of the line of traffic that's built up behind that initial crash, or behind your vehicle.
No, sir.
Right. Right, okay. And so what we've seen is there's been a change in your method of approach. You're now running, right?
Yes, sir.
And that's because you've identified the fact that there's been another wreck.
Yes, sir.
Right, and that's at 2:25:40. And you see, you'd agree with me, officer, that on the right-hand side of the screen, you can see it in front of you, right?
Yes, sir.
On the right-hand side of the screen, there's like a high-sided box kind of truck on the right there.
Yes, sir.
And there's another vehicle. But again, that line of traffic has continued from the back of your car, and it's still extending far back, right? As far as we can see.
Yes, sir.
And you've now been on foot for nearly 3.5, 4 minutes, walking through that traffic backlog, right?
Yes, sir.
And you can now just about see the wreck in the distance. Yep.
Yes, sir.
Thanks. Right, and we're going to pause it there at 2:26:21. And that is that gentleman that you're talking to. I don't know what he's saying. I don't want to know, but that's the gentleman who was driving the Volkswagen.
Yes, sir.
So would it be fair to say that you didn't finish investigating the first crash, did you?
No, sir.
Because you got distracted by this.
Yes, sir.
And this one was much more serious, right?
Yes, sir.
So that kind of explains why you didn't finish the first one.
Yes, sir.
Right, so this is you speaking to the first driver that you encounter,
Yes, sir.
and then we're going to fast forward to when you meet my client, if we can. Please. Thank you. So it's 2:26:48. So, officer, right. You've never met Mr. Castro before?
No, sir.
Never met him since?
No, sir.
No. And so you know through your training experience, you went to the academy like how many years ago? 5 years ago, we said?
Roughly, yes, sir.
How many DWIs have you investigated?
Over a dozen, sir. I don't know the exact number.
Over a dozen?
Yeah, over a dozen, right? Okay. And so you've done, I imagine, how many how many investigations have you done into driving while intoxicated?
Quite a few, sir.
Quite a few. I mean, I don't want you. Is it more than 20?
It would be safe to say, but like I said, I don't have an exact number.
Because what I'm going to say is, what I mean, where I'm trying to go with that is, with your training experience, you know it when you see it, right?
Yes, sir.
Because you use in your initial interaction with a member of the public, when you either stop them or come across them, like here, is you using your senses, right?
Yes, sir.
And that includes using your eyes.
Yes, sir.
Using your ears.
Yes, sir.
Right, and using your smell. And this might sound overly simplistic, but these are some of the things that the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration talks about, and that's NHTSA, right?
Yes, sir.
And that's the government organisation that it's the organisation that trains officers in the detection of intoxicated drivers.
Yes, sir.
And you're trained on their manuals.
Briefly, yes, sir.
Yeah, you are. That's the only training that you get from NHTSA, right?
Yes, sir.
And they talk about clues. You look for clues in an individual to see if they're intoxicated, right?
Yes, sir.
And you'd agree with me there are 10 post-stop cues or clues.
I wouldn't know the exact number.
If I tell you that there are 10 listed in the manual, would you have any reason to doubt me?
I would have no reason to doubt you right now, sir.
No. But what I'm going to say is that they are slurred speech, right?
Yes, sir.
The odor of intoxicants coming off their breath.
Yes, sir.
Right? Because someone who has a drink, it goes into their mouth and into their stomach and it gets metabolized, right? You know that from your training experience.
Yes, sir.
And then what comes from that is the odor comes back up through the stomach and you can't tell what they've been drinking, right?
Not really, sir.
You can't say if someone's had wine or beer, right? Unless it's in their mouth still.
Correct, yes, sir.
It's just the odor of metabolized alcohol.
Yes, sir.
And you didn't notice any of those on Mr. Castro?
No, sir.
Now, this is just the initial interaction you have with him. I stopped it for a reason, because you spend some time with him, a few seconds now, but over your interaction, you're at the scene with him for nearly 4 hours, right?
Yes, sir.
And you've been interviewed about this case a lot.
Yes, sir.
And you've maintained throughout there were no signs of intoxication from Alex Castro, right?
From my view, no, sir.
In your experience, I'm not asking you to tell anyone else, but you've arrested people for DWI.
Plenty of times, yes, sir.
Plenty of times, right? And in your report, you routinely say he had red bloodshot eyes or she had red bloodshot glossy eyes, right?
Depending on what I observe, yes, sir.
And these are some of the common observations. Red bloodshot glossy eyes is one of them.
Yes, sir.
Slurred speech is one of them.
Yes, sir.
Right? And Judge, May, you said I can move around the court, Judge?
Yes.
Thank you. Right? You know, being unsteady on your feet is one of them, right? That's an observation that comes.
Well, I mean, you can move around the courtroom if you're approaching the witness, but if you're doing demonstrations.
Thank you. You know, being unsteady on their feet is one of them.
Yes, sir.
Staggering is one of them.
Yes, sir.
And the point I'm trying to make, you didn't notice any of that with Mr. Castro.
No, sir.
And the importance of that is you now know, right, at the time, you're just doing your initial investigation of this second crash. And you don't even know that Ms. Seaver is very badly injured at this point, right? But right?
At this point, yes, sir.
But what you find out shortly after is that Mr. Castro has been in a wreck where his vehicle is like not rolled end on end, but it's kind of rolled side on side.
Yes, sir.
And you'd agree with me that according to your training and experience, that can bring on that rotational effect on the body and the inner ear can bring on what's called horizontal gaze nystagmus, right?
Yes, sir.
And that is one of the primary clues that you look for in a DWI investigation.
For individuals under depressants, yes, sir.
Or for DWI, with either through alcohol or drugs, right?
Depressant drugs.
Yeah, maybe, but like either one, you'd expect to see nystagmus in the eyes, right? Sometimes.
If it's alcohol or a depressant drug, yes, sir.
You'd expect to see somebody intoxicated. And you might also see that in somebody who's been like spun around really quick on a circus ride.
Correct.
It's called rotational nystagmus, right? According to NHTSA.
Yes, sir.
There's also post-rotational nystagmus, right? Where kind of like where somebody's been spun and the inner ear's been spun and their gyroscope is off and it can cause your eye to jump.
Yes, sir.
That can happen as well. And you didn't notice that in Mr. Castro when you meet him now, right?
No, sir.
Because you'd agree with me that we've been to watch this video, but he's literally getting out of the car. That accident's just happened.
Yes, sir.
And if he was going to have any of those signs, he's going to have them then.
Yes, sir.
So you're the best person on that scene that we've got depicted here to notice any signs of intoxication by him. Mr. Castro.
Yes, sir.
Because you qualified by your training experience, you've done this dozens of times.
Yes, sir.
You know it when you see it.
Most of the time, yes, sir.
Most of the time, yeah. Because you're human, you get it wrong, but you didn't notice it in him, right?
No, sir.
Play the video of T27.
What's up, man? I'm okay. What happened? Yeah.
So, it's like, I was going to say, but this hand was in the way. So you see behind him, you see all the airbags are deployed, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so in a normal investigation, because there are different ways that officers can come into contact with members of the public, right?
Yes, sir.
You can do like a consent, a normal search, or a normal encounter with somebody where they say, "Officer, can I talk to you about something?" That would be called a consent encounter.
Yes, sir.
There can be one where you say, "Hey, you're speeding," or you're not wearing a seatbelt, and that would be a traffic stop, right?
Yes, sir.
Or something like this, which is called a community caretaking.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, what?
Community caretaking. I'm sorry, where you're there to make sure everyone's safe.
Yes, sir.
But in your report, you would notice, if it was a DWI investigation, which it's not, you would report, you're trained to observe how people get out of vehicles, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because that's called initial contact, according to NHTSA.
Yes, sir.
Or personal contact. So a DWI investigation is split up into phases, right?
Thank you so much, Rona.
There's
Thank you.
There's the vehicle in motion.
We're
Yes,
fine. Don't worry about us. Don't worry about them.
Right.
We'll
Yes,
take
sir.
care of
You
everything.
stop and then an exit sequence, right? So what we've just watched, or what we're watching now, is called the exit sequence, called the exit, right?
Yes, sir.
And you're trained to note in your report, and in fact, you make no observations in your report that Mr. Castro had any difficulty getting out of his car.
No, sir.
You're trained to say if they stumble, right?
Yes, sir.
If they can't get the seatbelt on,
Yes, sir.
if they've got any kind of problems with their motor functions, which might indicate intoxication,
Yes, sir.
if they're holding onto the door pillar to get out of the car,
Yes, sir.
if they get out of the car and they have to lean on the car,
Yes, sir.
you're trained to, that's what I mean, there's all these clues that you're trained to observe.
Yes, sir.
And you probably regularly observe these with members of the public.
More than I would like to, yes, sir.
I bet you do. And we can agree that this is about as serious an incident you can ever go to as an officer, right?
One of them, yes, sir.
Yeah, and it is. And you didn't notice any of those things with Mr. Castro.
No, sir.
Now, so he speaks to you here, and you get an initial account of what happens, and then you say, "Hey, there's another car," and you leave, right?
Yes, sir.
But
Over there. Yeah, I ate my base and everybody talking. I couldn't stop time, man. Oh, there's another car.
so you see one to the rear of Mr. Castro's vehicle, which is very damaged. You see one of your colleagues running off because they probably identified Miss Siebert, right?
They observed the vehicle, yes,
They
sir.
observed the vehicle. Yeah, I'm sorry. They observed a very badly damaged vehicle with someone who's injured in it. And so they're running off, and you say, "Oh, I'm going to go," right?
Yes, sir.
But are you aware of what's perceptual distortions to you? the phrase perceptual distortions?
Perceiving something that may be farther than it actually is.
Well, what about auditory exclusion? You know what that is, right?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay, what's that?
Basically, when you're under high levels of stress, you lose your sense of hearing.
Okay. So perceptual distortions, right? You've been trained on that at the academy.
Yes, sir.
Right, okay. And would you agree with me that would be where you under, did you say high level? I don't want to put words in your mouth. Auditory exclusion is where sometimes your hearing closes down. What did you say? Sorry, officer.
High levels of stress?
Under high levels of stress, right? You'd agree with me that that man on the screen, I mean, despite what's happened, he's been in a rollover accident, right?
Yes, sir.
So he's, right now, he doesn't really know what's going on.
I'm going to object to speculation.
Sustain.
But you know what auditory exclusion is?
Yes, sir.
And you know that stressful through your training experience. In fact, you felt that in this incident yourself, right?
Correct. Yes, sir.
You remember being interviewed and you told people that that's what you experienced in this incident.
Yes, sir.
Right, because it must be terribly stressful, right?
Yes, sir.
For everybody involved.
Yes, sir.
Right. And that means that sometimes you can perceive things differently because of the stress that comes on you.
Yes, sir.
Right. So from now you run to Miss Siebert, right?
Yes, sir.
And you help there. Okay. But eventually you come back. Can we go to 226? Where are we? So what you're going to do is go to the other vehicle.
I got EMS coming to check you out. Prepare with me.
Yeah. Because there you go. We're going to pause it there real quick. This is you at Miss Siebert's vehicle. The prosecutor asked you earlier about the vehicles that were slowing down, because now you're basically, this accident has happened and there's vehicles building up behind it right now as we speak, right? While we're watching it, as you perceive it in real time, there were vehicles breaking and coming up to this accident. There was traffic building up again behind it.
Yes, sir.
Right, and the prosecutor asked you, you said that you, at this point, I believe about this point, if we play it, you're trying to slow that traffic down.
Trying to get their attention, yes, sir.
Yeah, and how are you doing that at this point?
Using my flashlight and trying to shine it at them.
Yeah, and so how are you going to motion in something? You had your flashlight in your hand.
Yes, sir.
And you were flashing it at traffic.
Yes, sir.
And what was that to do?
Try to get their attention.
And also, because the prosecutor asked you, were they slowing down?
When I got their attention, yes.
Yeah. So you needed to get their attention to slow them down.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because and it's not a trick question. There's still vehicles coming at you, despite the second accident. There's a line of traffic approaching behind you, and you're still having to slow them down with your flashlight.
Yes, sir.
And that's actually working, right?
To a degree, yes, sir.
To a degree, yeah. I mean, you know, thank goodness it wasn't another accident. But at this point, there's still no one stopping traffic. You're the only one now with your flashlight, right?
Correct. Yes, sir.
See if we can see that. My passport down. Where? Trying to see you. Because look, you've got vehicles driving through the debris there. Keep going. There you go, stop. So that you can see that what we just saw there is that you've still got, it's still a need, officer, because otherwise you wouldn't have done it, right? For you to shine your flashlight on people, even though there's uniformed police cars with a very severely damaged car, you still felt the need at the time to flash at people to slow them down.
That was all we had at the time.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying that's all you had. That's all you could do. Your car stuck down there. But you'd agree with me that what should have happened is someone should have been behind you warning traffic. Right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And in fact, Mr. Escobar asked you, and I believe it was later on, he said to you something along the lines of, what's the difference now on your Coban? Can you switch to stakes one, Daniel? Oh, no. 301, 45. And your Coban is your dash camera. We're gonna fast forward it because it's, like you said, you were there for 7 hours. It's very long.
I'm glad we're fast forwarding and not watching all 7 hours of this.
So what's happened here? This is your dash cam, right?
Yes, sir.
Also known as a co-van for San Antonio Police.
Back then, yes, sir.
All right, it's not called that anymore?
No, sir.
All right, it's your dash cam. Right, it's your dash cam. This is a forward-facing camera. Now, what's happened here is you've driven around and you're repositioning your vehicle.
Yes, sir.
The prosecutor's asked you, Mr. Escobar asked you, are you going, you're on 281 now, right? What we're looking at here.
Yes, sir.
Are you heading south or north? Have you done the turnaround yet?
It looks like I've done the turnaround, because it looks like TPC exits right there.
Zachary, let me find it for you.
So TPC exit, I can't see that, but you're heading back to the accident scene.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and the prosecutor said to you, what's different?
Yes, sir.
And you said the road's closed, right? Can we just because we've got some flashing warning signs ahead, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and what are they? What can we see on the left-hand side of the screen from the left-hand barrier?
Flares.
Flares. And what are they for?
To help get people's attention.
And that's now the scene is properly secure.
To the best of our ability, yes, sir.
So, but obviously, everything's to the best of your ability, right? But that's when the prosecutor was saying to you, what's the difference now? The highway is closed and the scene is safe.
Yes, sir.
And if it had been like this before, then is to the best of your ability or someone else's ability in the police, not just you, if someone else had.
I'm going to object to testimony.
Sustained.
If somebody had followed that policy, there's a policy, right? 707.
Yes, sir.
And the first thing in 707, it's called responding to crashes.
Yes, sir.
And part of it says about the first thing is under that heading, this public document that you discussed is that you're to move a vehicle and use the flashing lights.
Yes, sir.
Right. And that's to warn people about the crash.
Yes, sir.
Right. And to protect people from injury.
Yes, sir.
Right. And that didn't happen, but it's happened now.
I withdraw my objection.
You can answer that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that it's happened now, so the scene is secure.
Yes, sir.
If this had happened before, it might have prevented that.
I'm going to object to speculation.
Sustained.
Should this, the way the scene looks now, should the scene have looked like this before, according to your policy?
It would have been an option, yes, sir.
Objection to speculation.
That'll be overruled.
So it would have been an option.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it would have been an option, but you agree with me that according to your policy, that's what should have been happening.
I'm going to object to speculation.
That'll be overruled.
You can answer, officer, according to your policy. I'm not asking you to speculate, oh, well, this or that should have
All
happened.
right, counsel, please just ask the question.
According to your policy, this is the way, what we're seeing now at 30137, this scene is properly secured and there's sufficient warning to oncoming traffic.
Zach, I'm going to put the
Yes,
name
sir.
in chat.
Right, and that's what it should have looked like before.
I'm going to object to speculation.
That'll be overruled.
According to your policy, you can answer, officer, please.
Yes, sir. That would have been nice.
And then, so I want to talk to you about something else that we talked about earlier, and I want to revisit it. So we said that one of the purposes of an investigation, or one of the things of an investigation, is split the witness up.
Yes, sir.
And it's difficult to do, right?
Yes, sir.
And you do it to the best of your ability.
Yes, sir.
Right, but there came a time when you'd agree, and we watched the video earlier, Mr. Castro said you go back to him at around 3:10, like an hour maybe later, and he then says to you, hey, you've asked him several times what's happening and what's happened, and originally he doesn't know he's hit something, right? And then he's landed on the Volkswagen. Right, that's kind of what he said the first time.
He said he believed he hit the truck.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry. Thank
All right, so everyone, I'm going to say this for the last time. The court reporter can only take down one person at a time. So, question needs to be asked. After the question is asked, witness will answer, And then the next question will be asked. I know sometimes we talk conversationally, but when we're talking conversationally, court reporter can't take down everything and jurors can't hear everything. All right, ask your next question.
Yes, Judge, I'm sorry, I'm trying. I'm trying, Judge. Can't remember what I said. Yes, so yeah, Mr. Castro said that he thought he hit the truck, and the truck being is that there was an HEB truck and trailer there, right?
Yes, sir.
In fact, he did kind of hit it a little bit. He kind of bumped into it.
According to TID's investigation, yes.
Yeah, I mean, do you know that from speaking to your colleagues at the scene?
After TID made scene, yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm not asking you, I know you're not a crash reconstructionist, I know you're not, but from talking to your colleagues, you know that he did actually come to rest and touch that truck.
Yes, sir.
And you know that his vehicle went airborne and landed on the Volkswagen.
Yes, sir.
And his initial account was, I hit him, I don't know how, to that effect, right?
Correct.
Yeah, that's his initial effect. Comments to you when you pull him out of his car, out of his truck. And he didn't know how he went airborne, but he knew he was in the air.
He didn't mention he was airborne the first time, but he just said he hit the brakes.
Yeah, hit the brakes and then he's in the air. Right, six. Right?
Around the third time when I talked to him, he said he rolled.
Yeah, because you spoke to him several times.
Yes, sir.
Right? And eventually you get to a point when he tells you that he didn't know what he flipped on, and he didn't know it was a woman in that other vehicle till one of the other officers had told him, right?
I don't know. I wasn't there when he mentioned that.
If we show you a video, your body camera, would it refresh your memory?
It will refresh my memory where it happened, but
Yeah.
I don't recall that.
Okay, well, we'll.
So Zachary, on YouTube, if you're a YouTube creator, it's known as Right Here Beside You by Spence, but I sent you the link.
Excuse me. So is someone seeking to refresh his memory?
We're just going to watch the video again, Judge.
No, my question is someone seeking to refresh your memory? Because if someone is seeking to refresh your memory, then the jury needs to step outside while a memory is being refreshed, unless no one has any objections to a memory being refreshed contrary to the rules.
You can excuse the jury, Judge, if that helps.
No, I mean.
A judge, no objection from the state.
All right, you can refresh his memory in front of the jury, if it can.
I'm like, where's you at? And I'm like trying to put it in my GPS. And that little Honda just like came into me and like split everything. Like, what do you mean the Honda split into you? I don't know. It was like into me. Like, I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to what she was doing, or I didn't know it was her actually. So the officer told me it was her. Yeah. So it was right.
So yeah, that was you talking to Mr. Castro, right?
Yes, sir.
And you'd agree that he says that he didn't even know it was a girl or a her until another officer told him that it was?
Correct, yes, sir.
Right, so he's been given that information by someone else.
Yes, sir.
In fact, a police officer, maybe.
Possibly I wasn't.
I'm just saying, because it's difficult scene to keep people separate and isolated, right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Zachary.
And so
send me your channel.
At this point, was he free to leave?
No, sir.
No. And so, because if he'd have tried to, because earlier you said that he was asking one of your colleagues, he being Mr. Castro, asked if he could leave, and he was told he couldn't, right?
That is correct, yes, sir.
2 hours after, it was 2 hours after the fact.
Sounds about right, yes, sir.
Yeah, and so if he'd have, I know he didn't, but if he'd have, in your training and experience, and you as an officer, if he'd have tried to run away, what would you have done?
Brought him back to the scene.
You just run after him and stopped him, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's not a trick question, I promise. And you'd agree with me that he said, hey, I don't mind giving you a statement, but can I go? Words to those effect?
To that effect, yes, sir.
Yeah. And he said, words to the effect of, my wife's here, can I go and see my wife?
He did mention that, yes, sir.
Yeah, and he wasn't allowed to go and see his wife?
No, sir.
No. And you, in fact, at one point told one of your colleagues, look, I can't cut him loose.
Yes, sir.
And by that, I imagine that's a police term for like, I can't let him go. Right.
Correct. Yes, sir.
Yeah. And so, the jury might not know that, but there are no magic words for arresting somebody, are there, in your job? You have to say you're under arrest.
I'm going to object to that's a legal conclusion.
Sustained.
So, yeah. You don't have to tell someone they're under arrest for them to be under arrest, right?
I'm going to object. That's a legal conclusion.
Any other objections?
There's a better objection. The judge is giving you a hint here. That's not the objection.
No, Judge.
All right, that'll be overruled. You can answer the question.
Sorry. Officer, when you arrest people, do you say, hey, you're under arrest?
Yes, sir.
You do? So you do?
Yes, sir.
Do you have to?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Right. You don't have to say you're under arrest for this offense.
I'm going to object to relevance.
Relevance, that's
All right,
it.
that'll be sustained.
Yeah, that was it. That
And
was
the question
one.
has already been asked and answered as well.
But either way, at this point, Mr. Castro is not free to leave.
Thank you.
It's 4 o'clock in the morning. Four.
I'm going to object to asked and answered.
Sustained.
But the time at this
I'm glad
point
we're
when
counting
he's not
objections.
free to leave is 4:21.
That sounds about
All
right.
right, the objection has been sustained.
Oh, sorry, Josh. I thought I asked a different question. But that wasn't the last time people spoke to Mr. Castro about what happened.
That is correct.
Right, after he'd been told he can't leave.
That is correct. Yes, sir.
That was so funny to see the judge say.
So he's not under arrest at this point.
Any other
No, sir.
objections?
It's yours. He's being detained.
Yes, sir.
Is it possible that he thinks he's under arrest?
I'm going to object to speculation.
Sustained.
She's not going to interrupt, but you need to make the objection.
It's just pass the witness. Thank you.
State. Redirect.
Very brief, Judge. You were dealing with that first accident for about 20 minutes. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
How many other accidents occurred while you were out there dealing with that first accident?
Only one, sir.
And which one was that?
The one involving Mr. Castro.
Now, defense has talked a lot about SAPD policy and about, I believe the document they're reading from, it said to park the police vehicle, utilize emergency lights and flashers in a manner that best provides warning of the crash to approaching vehicles, to protect persons from injury, and to provide other emergency vehicles access to the scene. That's the complete portion. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Isn't that what you did?
Yes, sir.
What time did that second crash happen at?
Around 2:20, 2:24.
Well, what happens at 2?
Reckless drivers come out.
Sorry?
Reckless drivers come out.
And again, I'll ask again, what happens at 2 a.m.?
The bars close.
Now, you heard him
Reckless
give his
drivers
story
come
at least 4 times, right?
Yes, sir.
The first 3 times, did he ever change many details?
No, sir.
It was generally the same story.
Yes, sir.
And you would agree that there was quite a bit of time between when he gave the first story to when he gave the last story.
Object to leading.
Sustained.
How much time passed between his first story and his third story?
At least over 2 hours.
And they were relatively consistent.
The first 3, yes, sir.
What changed in the last one?
He claimed that the Honda was driving erratic and was bumping from median to median.
Did any other witness say that?
No, sir.
His defense asked, couldn't he have change his story because he heard someone else say it?
Yes, sir.
Ask the witness.
Nobody else said it.
Recross, yes.
To be very brief, Judge, because I forgot to do something earlier. Officer, have you still got that policy in front of you there? You've got it right.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah, and that's the same policy that the officer was talking, Mr. Escobar was talking about.
Yes, sir.
Judge, I'm going to offer defense one, into evidence. Judge, opposing counsel for.
No objection.
All right. Defense number one, that's the manual?
Well, no, Judge, it's the SFPD policy on traffic accidents.
All right. The defense exhibit number one, so the record is clear. What specifically is defense exhibit number one?
San Antonio Police Department General Manual, Procedure 707, crash investigation.
All right. And how many pages is it?
It's 5 pages.
All right. It's 5 pages. Defense exhibit number one. Any objection state?
Your Honor, I would object just because there are markings that are on that copy, unless it's a fresh copy that is.
All right. Could I see defense exhibit number one, please?
I usually wear my tie inside my suit. Oh,
all right. If I could have parties approach.
Looked like it was on the outside of the suit for a minute. All right. This is getting a little spicy, a little interesting. I still think our good friend, the British lawyer there, has his tie just a little bit pulled to his right. It's not quite straight, and I'm trying not to look at it, but right now it's hard. So, the objections, we're up to 30 objections, and we're still on the first witness. This is crazy.
Is admitted without objection.
Because I want to clear up a tiny bit of confusion. Maybe it's me. Is you know, we've been over this in detail, right? You're aware of this policy. Now this is in evidence, right? It says, come down to, on the first page, 0.04 responding to crashes. Right?
Yes, sir.
Now, with regards to the crash with the wrong way driver, right? You agree with me that you parked your police vehicle utilizing emergency lights and flashes.
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. And then and I believe the testimony was that you had walked. It was approximately, and I don't want to misrepresent what you said, about 200 yards from your car to the actual scene of the crash, the wrong way driver crash.
That was my guess, yes, sir.
And approximately that traffic buildup that happened in 1 minute, right?
It happened in a couple minutes because we arrived at 1:55, but the call came in earlier. Oh. I don't know the exact time. I don't have I don't have the IDR.
And again, you I think you testified that it was at 1:55 that you were dispatched around.
That's when I arrived on scene, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So, and you were dispatched a couple of minutes before.
Yes, sir.
And already there was a 200-yard, in your estimation, line of traffic.
Yes, sir.
Right. So, and you did put your vehicle there with the flashing lights on.
Yes, sir.
But you were on scene for 25 minutes, right?
Yes, sir.
And you went back to your vehicle to write your report and do your checks.
Sounds about right. Yes, sir.
Yeah, doing your computer checks. You got your driver's licenses and you checked to see if they've got warrants and all that sort of thing, right?
And to verify they actually have licenses.
And yeah, and to verify all that because you're supposed to. But remember, we looked at the video when you went back to your car. As far as you could see, there was traffic parked behind your car.
Yes, sir.
There was no one at the back of that line of traffic warning anyone else that there was a wreck.
No, sir.
Right. Okay. And that's what this policy demands.
Yes, sir.
You didn't do it?
For the second crash, no, sir.
No. You didn't ask anyone else to do it?
Initially, no, sir.
And dispatch didn't do it?
No, sir.
No. So that scene, the second scene, was completely unprotected.
Yes, sir.
Contrary to the police department policy.
Yes, sir.
And I'm talking about the second crash, the serious one.
Correct. Yes, sir.
Thank you. So I've got passwords.
I would have said some of that was beyond scope a little bit. I'd have to go back and hear what
Nothing further from state.
redirect was.
Is this witness excused or subject for recall?
Excuse from the state.
No objection.
Oh, is he excused?
Yes, Judge. Yeah.
All right. If you'll leave the documents behind, remember the rule has been invoked. What that means is you cannot discuss your testimony with anyone or view anything. Only persons, if you have to speak to someone, you're allowed to speak to our attorneys for the state or the defense. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you may step down.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Does anybody need a break? If not, we'll go on to the next witness. All right. Okay. State, call your next witness.
The state calls Sydney Fusca.
Witness number 2. This was supposed to be a quick trial. I don't know. It should be done this week, but it's taken a little while. I think it's going to go faster once we get out of the body cam footage.
Can you hear me? As far as I'm aware, yes, ma'am. Can you hear me? Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Hello. Hi, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand, have a seat.
That microphone goes up, down, left, right. Get
right.
yourself 12 to 15
State your
inches away
name for
from
the
me.
record.
Oh, wait, sorry.
Sydney Fusca,
All right, and if you can spell your name, please.
SYDNEYFUSCA.
All right, make sure you keep your voice up so that members of the jury can hear and the court reporter can hear.
Yes.
All right, state.
Sydney, who do you work for?
I'm currently employed with the San Antonio Police Department.
And what do you do with the San Antonio Police Department?
I'm a crime scene investigator.
Crime scene investigator, so a CSI.
Yes, CSI.
So what do you do specifically as a CSI?
So my job is I photograph crime scenes, I collect evidence at crime scenes, I take sketches of crime scenes and record video at crime scenes.
And how long have you been doing this for?
2 years.
And what type of training did you receive in order to become a CSI?
I received 360 hours of training.
Whoa.
And
that's a lot.
What type of scenes do you usually respond to?
I respond to a variety of scenes. So smaller offenses such as burglaries, family violence, as well as your higher offenses. So murders, shootings, cuttings, major accidents, and sexual assaults.
And were you working on July 22nd of 2022?
Can I have my report to refresh my memory, please?
Yes, you may. Just remember to please don't read off directly off of it. Just refresh your memory and then you can answer the question.
Yes, I was working that evening.
And were you called out to the scene of an accident in the early morning hours of July 22nd of 2022?
Yes.
And where did you have to respond to?
I responded to the northbound lanes of Highway 281.
And what were you responding out there for?
A major accident.
And do you remember what time did you get there?
I got there approximately 3:30.
And when you got out to that scene, what were your duties when you went out there?
So my initial duties were to photograph the scene. So I was photographing all the vehicles involved, as well as the markings on the road.
Sydney, I'm approaching you with what's being marked as state exhibit number 3. You recognize this?
I do.
What is it?
This is a DVD containing the photos I took from this scene.
And are these all the photos you took at that scene?
Yes.
Okay. And as far as you're aware, are the photos that are contained on this disc, are they true and accurate depictions of what you saw at that scene?
Yes.
Your Honor, say what over states exhibit number 3.
Mm-hmm.
They have an objection to it. It's possible there could be more than one objection, but they do have at least one. Man, my computer is not liking this. See if I can shut some things down here. Did she just stand up? I was looking away. She's standing. Is the jury leaving? Yeah, I wish we got photos in this court as well. That would be fantastic if we had the AV display. Quick recap. Well, this is witness number 2. This is a case where the defendant is charged with causing the death of another person through a car accident, where he was going 90 in a 45 construction zone. Unfortunately, also in that construction zone up ahead, there was a wrong-way driver that had caused a crash previously, bringing traffic to a stop. So he drove into parked traffic at 90 miles an hour. He struck, I believe, at least 2 vehicles, one being a Heb truck, one being a small car that had a single occupant in it, and she passed away from her injuries, I believe, at the scene. So it was, there's allegations that the investigation was botched a little bit. Like, they didn't investigate him for drunk driving until later. But he did make some comments at the scene saying that he had some beers earlier, and they're using that to base their DUI finding on. Looks like she's going to step out, and we might have some findings or some on-the-record discussion about this. Be nice if that happens, Judge. So he's saying not guilty. The way the defense came out, which is probably one of the wildest opening statements I've ever heard. It sounded like a closing statement because it was all argument and speculation. It wasn't talking about what you're going to hear, what evidence you're going to see. But it was absolutely crazy. Lots of objections. Well, lots could have been fired, but only a few were actually made, and the judge sustained those. But in one point, he even got in a back and forth with the judge, which was not good. So he's saying it's not his fault. The real person who's at fault is the wrong-way driver that caused the traffic jam in the first place. I don't think that the attorney said, but for the wrong-way driver. But for the wrong-way driver, and but for the fact that the police responding to the wrong-way driver crash did not set up, flares in the road and, signage to let people know that traffic was parked ahead, this wouldn't have happened. He was going to 90 in a 45. I don't think he has that argument. That doesn't resonate with me. Did you clip Gary pointing at the camera saying, "I hope you're watching"? Yeah, he gets right up in the camera and names this wrong-way driver and saying it's her fault. Blood's on her hands. My phone and my computer. What's wrong with the internet today? Who's in charge of the internet right now? I've got it. That's Kim R, right? Kim, have you tried turning it off and on again? Just kidding. Everything's going slow. I'll see if I can find the clip of him pointing at the camera to share with this, because apparently the judge is not going to let us hear this little argument on the side. So maybe we can bring this up. So let me bring this one in first. Okay.
I think I'm about to catch a whooping.
I think you are about to catch a whooping. Okay, we're going to replay this first little bit. I'm going to run this in. While they're replaying this, we'll keep the audio and video going from current court, but I'm going to hear the audio of what happened earlier during the opening statements from the prosecutor.
No sense, because that means that's suicide. That's tantamount to him trying to kill himself. Common sense says that. If you are driving at the speed Mr. Escobar says he is, and you're driving into parked traffic, you're trying to kill yourself.
Sustained.
Objection.
You're trying to kill yourself.
Second objection.
Sustained.
And that defies common sense. You see, I'm right. That's why he's objecting.
Third objection.
All right. All right. Number one, the objection is sustained. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, that's an improper argument. These are opening statements. Both parties are to inform you of what they expect the evidence to show you.
That was what happened initially. Let me see if I can find the clip where where he was pointing at the camera, which was wild. I've never seen anything like this. So here we go. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, I just found it. So let's switch really quickly. Zachary Wells, yeah, super generous. Oh my goodness. I'm glad I could help you a little bit with a little answer, but oh my goodness, thank you. You've gifted a bunch of memberships. You've joined the jury. You've joined as a member yourself. Thank you so much. I appreciate your generosity this morning. Afternoon. It's not morning, just for the record. Okay, so we're gonna keep this. Let's actually do a 2-box, shall we? I might have to reboot my computer. Preset, 2-box. Let's do that one. And we're going to have, actually I need box 1 to be channel 2. Okay, so live is right above me. The replay is in the big screen really quickly. So watch what happened on this replay. This was nuts.
Driven home to meet her husband that she'd argued with by the police. And I hope she's watching today. I hope she's watching and listening to this, because she's not here to answer for what she did that put that man in the chair there, where the state is trying to convict him of killing somebody. Now, was he driving too fast? Yes, but he was driving too fast on the right way, going the right way down the highway. So that's the first thing.
Okay, so yeah, crazy. Let's see. We've had some just, I don't know if you practice law in England, which is very different. The argument that you know is allowed in other countries is different than what's allowed here. So maybe we're seeing a little bit of England coming through with him, but. 1 is 6. Okay, now we'll go back there. Oops. 1 is 6. 4. Oh, I need to turn off 3. That's what it is. Hang on. Turn off camera 3. Doop. There we go. They're back from break. Fast forward. Okay, let me do that. Really quickly. We are a tiny bit behind. Catching up rapidly. Still catching up rapidly. Oh, there we go. There we go. Calling the witness in. He was a police officer in England? Really? He was a Bobby. It's perfectly fine for him to be a lawyer in the U.S. I actually love it. I think it's quite refreshing to have the accent and everything. All you have to do is pass the bar in the U.S. and then you can be a lawyer. It's not like he's asking to be the president of the United States where you have to be a natural-born citizen. I think it's great. I love it. Behind the witness, the Alamo. No, this is Texas. You can't get away from the Alamo.
It's ready to proceed?
We're ready, Judge.
All right, let's bring the jurors back in.
All right, for the jury.
If you will bring the jury.
He was in the Metropolitan Police.
All right, everyone, please be seated. And you are still under oath, and state you are on direct examination, I believe. You may proceed.
Thank you. I'm going to show you what's been marked with state exhibits 4, 5, 6, and 7. Do you recognize this?
Yes, I recognize all of these.
And what are they?
These are photographs of the accident involving the vehicles. that were involved.
And so you're the person that took these photographs,
Yes, I am.
and they're true and accurate to what you saw that day.
Yes.
Your Honor, statement offer states exhibit number 4, 5, 6, and 7.
Okay, so now they're printouts. Didn't get the whole DVD
Any
in.
objections?
Yes, Judge. Madam Clerk?
Yes. And advocacy states exhibits 4, 5, 6, and 7, please.
Yes, ma'am.
And now we get another objection, so I'm going to fast forward through that as well, and we'll be almost caught up. There we go. Boom.
5 is withdrawn.
Ooh, he won.
States exhibit number 4, 6, and 7 will be admitted into evidence.
Well, 25%.
Yes.
Your Honor, permission to publish.
Granted.
So, Anthony, what are these photographs generally of?
Generally, they're of the accident, with the vehicles that were involved in the accident.
All right, Daniel, make sure you keep your voice up because the court reporter has to take it down.
I said to please pass it to the next person when you're done. Approaching with state exhibit number 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. What are these photographs of?
These are photographs of the Honda Civic that was involved in the accident.
And are these true and accurate to what you saw that night?
Yes.
Your Honor, state would offer states exhibit number 8 through 12.
Yes.
Judge, another objection, which we will fast forward through as well. I appreciate the background with this attorney's experience in England as an officer, as a police officer. Okay, there we go. Let's see if any of this gets thrown out.
Is going to admit states exhibit number 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So those exhibits will be admitted into evidence. State.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Judge's mic is off. We were hearing that through the witness mic.
Photograph and pass it to the next room. I'm showing you what's being marked. It's marked a little bit ahead. It states exhibit number 71. Do you recognize this?
Yes.
What is it?
This is the victim's car.
Okay. And is this a true and accurate depiction of their car?
Yes.
And has it appeared to you on the night that you took it?
Yes.
Your Honor, state would offer states exhibit number 71.
All right, if you approach.
Holy cow. You can barely tell that's a car. It is mangled beyond recognition. Did you see that? That used to be a Honda Civic. Yeah, it looks like something they show you in driver's ed to scare you from ever driving again.
Exhibit number 71 is admitted without objection.
Wow.
Permission to publish?
Granted.
We're at 34, huh?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Exhibit number 71. What angle is this of?
This is from the rear driver's side facing the vehicle.
All right, do you want the witness to step into the well? And defense, again, you can move throughout the courtroom.
Okay. And get permission to publish, Judge?
Push your
Yes.
chair around. Just wheel yourself around.
And you're more than welcome to step down from the witness stand.
Again, so this was a different angle of the vehicle that you saw that night. Thank you.
Hey, Holly Mack, make sure your gift setting is turned on. That's the first step. So if you type exclamation point gifts. That's GIFTS.
Sydney, I'm showing you what's been marked already
Make
previously.
sure the
as state
sliders move
exhibit
to the
number
right.
14 through 24. Do you recognize these photographs?
She's sorting them.
Yes, I do.
What are these photographs of?
These are photos of the truck that was involved in the accident.
And are these true and accurate depictions of what you observed that night?
Yes.
Your Honor, state would offer state's exhibit number 14, and I believe it's through 24.
Yes.
Man. And they objected? He's objecting to everything. Everything. Big truck versus a Honda Civic at 90-mile-an-hour collision. That is terrible. We're going to fast forward through this part. One minute at a time. We're almost caught up.
States Exhibit 16, 17, 19,
18's out.
20, 21, 22, 23, and 24.
One was excluded.
Granted.
Sydney, I'm showing you marked and state's exhibit number 25 through 30. Do you recognize these?
Yes, I do.
What are these photos of?
These are photos indicating the AOI, otherwise known as the area of impact, so where the actual collision occurred with the vehicles.
And is there anything different from some of the photos that we've seen previously? What's new?
So TID, traffic investigations, they came out and they will spray paint the roadway markings to indicate the path that each vehicle took, either prior to or after the accident occurred.
And are these true and accurate depictions of what you saw that night?
Yes.
Your Honor, state would offer state's exhibit number 25, and I believe that's through 30.
All right, if you approach.
Another objection. Silver Fox, thanks for clicking the subscribe button. We call that admitting that you're a true crime addict. Welcome. Now that you're here, you can never leave. Just thought we'd let you know. Wonderful having you here. It's a good group here. I think you'll find you're among friends. We're making great timing getting through these objections because we're catching up a minute at a time every time he objects.
26, 27, 28.
The victim in this case drove the Civic, is my understanding. The defendant drove a truck. I'm thinking like a full-size pickup is what it sounds like. Yeah. And also a semi-truck was also very lightly damaged or involved. So 3 vehicles.
So I'm showing you with the marked state's exhibit number 31 through 35. Do you recognize these?
4 more pictures. I like how she spreads
and
everything.
What are these photographs of?
These are photographs of the roadway with the spray paint markings to indicate the pathway that both the Honda Civic took, as well as the Chevy truck.
And we're seeing some of the, we're seeing two different colors of spray paint. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, what colors are we seeing?
We are seeing yellow and orange.
And why are there different colors used in these photographs?
So TID will assign a color to each vehicle to indicate which vehicle took which pathway. So the yellow is belonging to the Honda Civic and the orange is belonging to the truck.
Your Honor, or states exhibit number 31 through, I believe it's 35. 35, thank you. Are those true and accurate depictions of what you saw on that day?
Yes.
Your Honor, state would offer states exhibit number 31 through 35.
Yes.
Another objection. Sorry, I'm reading emails and not paying attention to the objections here. There we go.
And 35 are admitted.
Thank you, Judge. Permission to publish.
Granted.
The defendant, Lisa, is the gentleman in the blue, sort of by the middle of the screen.
I wanted to show you the state exhibit number 71. Can you see the make and the make of this car? Say it on the vehicle. You still review?
No. Or actually, it's right here.
So I think earlier you referred to it as
I did, yes.
So earlier you referred to it as a Civic, is that
Yes.
correct?
I did, yes.
And it's actually in the Ford.
It is in the Ford, yes. I was honest.
Thank you. You can continue.
She takes a seat again.
I'm showing you with the margin seats exhibit number 37 through 54. Do you recognize these photographs?
37 through 54. I know there's going to be an objection here.
54.
54, man. Thank you.
Yes, Lenova, that's going to be our defendant. That is Mr. Alexander Castro, the driver of the truck. The police say he was intoxicated, but they didn't do any investigation at the scene. They're just basing that off of, I believe, some comments that he made while at the scene that were caught on body camera, but were not followed up with by the officer on the scene in charge of the scene. That officer was reprimanded for some failures, some oversights he had related to this accident. So his own admission, yes. This happened back in 2022.
And what are these photographs of?
These are photographs of the roadway to include any debris or markings from the vehicles or markings made by TID.
And primarily, what colors featured in these photographs?
Mostly orange and yellow.
So, Your Honor, and are these true and accurate depictions of the scene that you saw that morning?
Yes.
Your Honor, state would offer states exhibit number 37 through 54.
All right.
Objection. Up to 38 now.
Oh, yes. Come forward.
He's like, it's me again, Judge, Your Honor. We have issues with these pictures. This is going to take a bit longer because we have a few more pictures that might get us most of the way caught up. There we go. There we go. This went to trial because he says it's not at fault. He's trying to blame the person who caused the traffic jam in the first place and the police officers for not notifying or doing more to warn oncoming drivers. I just can't see when he's doing double the speed limit in a construction zone, how he can say, but for the girl who caused the traffic jam, this wouldn't have happened. That's going to be a hard sell to the jury.
All right, states exhibit number 37 through 54 are admitted.
You just wish to publish?
Granted.
I don't know. Was she also intoxicated? I believe this was at night.
States number 55 and 59.
Like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, I do.
Oh, now what are these photographs of?
These are photographs involving the Chevy truck as well as the Volkswagen.
And what's different, or is there anything different about states exhibit number 55 through 59 that don't appear in the other photographs?
This third vehicle, the Volkswagen?
Well, and is there another spray paint that we're now seeing?
The green spray paint.
And are these true and accurate depictions of the scene that you photographed that night?
Yes.
Your Honor, state would offer states exhibit number 55 through 59.
Any objections?
No objection, Judge.
No
All right,
objection.
States exhibits 55, 56, 57, 58, and 59 are admitted without objection.
Banny, thanks for the 5 gifted
Granted.
memberships. Oh no, Jackie. I felt like it's a Friday all day. Oh no, that's not just 1 day off. That's 2 days off, Jackie. Those are the worst. Absolute worst.
Was states 64 through 57. What are these photographs of?
Exactly, Nova. He's trying to blame the
So
police.
exhibit 64, 65, and 66 are the southward perspective with the accident in the background, so facing south. Exhibit 67 is south of the accident, but facing northward towards where the accident occurred.
Now, why did you take these photographs?
These were photographs requested to be taken by TID to show the line of sight of the accident from coming north from the highway.
So in essence, you're looking south from where the accident happened.
Yes, so these 3 are looking southwards from the accident, and 67 is looking northwards towards the accident.
How far back did you have to walk in order to get those photos?
I'm unsure.
But do they depict the same scene that you took photos of that day?
Yes.
Your Honor, state would offer states exhibit number 64 through 67.
Yes.
And we have an objection. I don't know. I'll have to look at the charges. I don't remember from the beginning what the charge was. I was trying to get all the tech lined up. There we go. So close. We're almost. Well, why did it do that? We're right here. 3, 2, 1. There we go. Boom.
This group of photographs, I'm showing you something looking more at the states exhibit number 68 through 70. What are these photographs of?
Oh, Helen. Oh, my goodness. Dinner for 50? That's a lot of people.
These photographs are of the third vehicle that was involved in the accident.
And these are without any markings present, correct?
Correct.
And these photographs give an angle of what the vehicle looked like whenever you saw them.
Correct.
Your Honor, state would offer states exhibit number 68 through 70.
Yes.
Objection. Up to 40. I just don't know how you can say a third-party culprit. It sounds like a third-party culprit defense, where it's like, no, there's someone else responsible for this crash, when there was nothing that anyone else did that made this guy drive at 90 miles an hour.
Granted.
Yeah.
Showing the jury 16.
Donna E., thank you very much for gifting 5 memberships. Lindsay giving us a background on this. This gentleman thought he was, well, I use gentleman loosely. The defendant thought he was on Highway 35. He was on 281. 2 o'clock in the morning, right when bars close, right? He was hauling.
Your Honor, pass the witness.
All right, defense?
Ms. Fuska?
Yes.
Is that the right pronunciation?
Yes, Fuska.
Thank you, ma'am. I just have a couple of questions for you.
Yeah, of course.
So how long have you been a CSI? 2 years?
2 years.
And you basically, when you're called to a scene, you go wherever they send you.
Yes, correct.
And on that, were you aware that on this night in question, the 22nd of July in 2022, there are actually 2 accident scenes that night?
I was not.
You weren't aware that there was a wrong-way driver that caused a wreck half a mile in front of this one?
I'm going to object to relevance.
Sustained.
Were you asked to take photos of another accident scene on the same day?
No, just this accident.
You weren't asked to take pictures of an accident scene half a mile down the road?
No, just this accident.
Do you know who was the driver in the other vehicles?
That's objection.
No,
You don't know who Shayna Alassel is?
no.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. No further questions. Pass the witness, please.
Nothing from the state judge.
All right, is this witness excused or subject to recall?
Excuse me.
All right, the rule has been invoked. You're not allowed to discuss your testimony with anyone. If you need to speak with someone, the only persons you're allowed to speak to are attorneys for the state of the defense. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, you may step down. Can I see both parties, please?
Judge calls a quick huddle. Step right up. It's time to huddle, says the judge. Which might get us. Oh, there we go. We're almost caught up. Somebody needs to tell Shayna that she's all over the camera.
The state is calling their next witness.
Apologize.
That's okay.
Josh Ben, Your Honor.
I think unless we hear more testimony, it might be. I can see the jury not finding him as DUI, not finding him drunk, if that's a charge that's being
If
asserted.
you will raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand. Have a seat, please. If you'll state your name and spell it for the record.
My name's Joshua Garland Ben, BEHN, and my age is 25.
All right, make sure you keep your voice up so the members of the jury and the court reporter can hear. State, you may proceed with your direct examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. And like the judge said, Josh, just speak up, and if you need that microphone a little bit closer, because everybody all the way over here needs to hear you, and I'm a little hard of hearing. So just speak up, all right? One, can you introduce yourself to the jury, please?
Again, my name's Joshua Garland Ben. I'm 25. I'm grown up in San Antonio my whole life for the most part. I'm from Benco, Texas. Born in Fredericksburg. That was the closest place. And I
walks on the
have
beach
one blood sibling, my younger brother, Evan, 2 parents who are divorced. I go on about knowing Alex.
Right. Hold on. Hey, one.
Sorry.
I'm a little nervous. Okay.
Yeah.
Just take it easy and just listen to the questions when I ask you questions or when defense counsel
You
asks
asked him to
questions,
introduce
okay?
himself, and he's just trying to do what you said.
Just take it down a notch. I understand you're going to be nervous up there, right?
Yes, sir.
One, thanks for introducing yourself to the jury, but go ahead and tell me, how do you know, well, Alex?
I know Alex from Cordillera Ranch. It's our workplace where I met her, and I currently still work there.
And was she working there at the time too?
Yes, she was there before me.
And you know Alexandra Shea West Sebert?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And y'all work together at this I guess sort of like a club or
Country club, yes, sir.
Where's that located at?
It's located in Verney, Texas.
And at the time, back in 2022, how long did you work there?
I've been there since 2020. It'll be 4 years in August.
And what about, do you still currently work there?
I still currently work there, yes, sir.
So back in 22, you worked there, and then now up to the day, 2 years later, you've worked there. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And at the time, back in 2022, particularly July of 2022, was Alex also working there?
Yes, sir.
And was she working there before you or after you?
Yes, sir. Before.
Before. And I guess that's how you met her. At some point, did y'all develop a relationship?
Yes, sir.
And what type of relationship was that?
Dating.
Dating?
He was
Okay.
her boyfriend.
And so y'all began to date. I guess, did y'all have some common interests?
Yes, sir.
And what were some of those common interests?
Golf, liked watching Spurs games, Astros games, George Strait, him being a member out there, so that was one of her favorite music artists.
So this club that y'all worked at was actually seemed like a pretty nice club.
Yes, sir.
I mean, you mentioned the name George Strait, so he's around there.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you had some celebrities out there, so it was sort of nice to be out there. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And nice environment.
Yes, sir.
And then you also stated that y'all played golf. Did she also play golf?
Yes, sir. It was something we got into together.
So y'all would actually play golf together.
Yes, sir.
And did she go to college?
Yes, sir. She recently graduated from UTSA shortly before passing away.
Can you approach me briefly?
Yes.
This is an objection about the emotion. I know this seems heartless. The right thing for the judge to do here is to give him a minute, possibly outside the presence of the jury. This is terrible. Oh my goodness. The prosecutor, I'm gonna dock the prosecutor some cool points right now. He pulls this guy up on the stand. He knows the situation. He knows this is her boyfriend. Okay, testifying about her death. They work together. They met. They started dating. They have all these interests together. And he's like, "Introduce yourself." And he's like, "Ha, what are you doing that for? Why? Well, thanks for introducing yourself."
Recently graduated from UTSA.
Yes, sir.
But let's go to July 21st, 2022. And I know I've discussed that date with you. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And on that particular date, did you and Alex do anything that day?
Yes, sir. As far as I remember, it was golfing that day. It was something we typically did on Thursday since we were both off every week together for the most part.
Okay, so it was a Thursday.
Yes, sir.
And when would y'all go golfing? Would it be during the morning, afternoon, or late?
Typically, we try to go later morning, earlier afternoon, just due to it being July during the summer. It's so hot out there. Being out there for 4 hours isn't.
Okay, so on this particular day, do you recall if y'all went in the early morning or before lunch?
I recall going earlier afternoon, later morning.
Did y'all play a round of golf?
Yes, sir.
And do you recall what golf course it was at?
I want to say it was either Rebecca Creek or Almost Basin. Those were our two most frequent ones.
And, when a lot of people golf, they tend to, I'm outing myself here, but if you go off, sometimes you drink. Were y'all drinking?
Not that I can remember, sir. It was either one or none. It's, like I said, hot out there during the afternoon, and she wasn't a big drinker to begin with.
Okay. And so on that particular afternoon or morning hours or before lunch, you don't recall drinking or anything like that?
No, sir.
Okay. And then y'all finished up the round of golf, and then what did y'all do after that?
Most of the time after golf, we'd go eat and then go back and hang out at my mom's house for the night. I'm pretty sure we went back to my mom's and then went to go eat a little after golf just to kind of freshen up.
And so other than, I guess, this day and the day later, it's obviously sticks out of your mind.
Yes, sir.
But other than that, throughout that day, there was nothing that stands out in your mind that's really significant. It's just a normal day playing golf and hanging out.
Yes, sir.
And so then when you stated something about your mother, that at the time, were you living with your mom?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And at the time, how old were you at the time?
23.
23?
Yes, sir.
And how old was Alex? Do you recall?
I want to say she was 24.
Okay. And so after y'all arrived back out your mom's place and your place and your mom's, do you recall what y'all did that night or that late after dinner?
Yes, sir. Most of the time we just watch movies, hang out, nothing crazy.
And so like going out to eat, do you recall where you went to eat?
I believe it was Texas Roadhouse that day.
Were y'all drinking there, or was she drinking rather?
No, sir. Not that I can recall.
And do you recall if anybody else was with y'all at the dinner?
No, sir.
And so as it goes into the night of the 21st, I guess going into the early morning hours of the 22nd, July 22nd, 2022, was Alex still at your house?
Sir.
And at any point, did she decide to leave?
Yes, sir.
And do you recall what time around that was that she was going to leave?
It was a little later, about early 2 a.m. because I was concerned with her leaving that early or late.
And that seems I don't know, that's a late hour, to be leaving somebody's place. And where was she going?
Back home. She always wanted to leave to take care of her dog.
And she had a dog? Blue? And I guess she cared for that dog. She wanted to get home to it.
Probably more than anyone else, yeah.
And tell me this: where was this? Where was her home at? Where did she live at?
6475 Cheyenne Pass in Bulverde.
Okay, Bulverde. And for people that don't know, how do you get there from? Well, one, let me ask you: where was your house at? Where did you live out generally?
I live off of 1540 West Bridges Road, also West Bridges and Heebner.
Bidders and Heebner?
Heebner Road, yes, sir.
Okay. And is that on the sort of the north side?
Northeast. I was on to Churchill High School, so northeast side, yeah.
Okay. And in this area, is it near 1604?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And to get to, you stated that her house was in Bulverde.
Yes, sir.
And how would one get to Bulverde from your house?
281.
281?
Yes, sir.
And if you headed down 281, would you be going north or south? North? Okay. And then to what road or highway would you have to go to her house after you're on 281?
You'd be exiting off of Bulverde Road to where it crosses up to 46.
On 46?
Yeah, close, yeah.
Okay. So it's pretty far up north of 1604, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so did she live there alone?
No, sir.
And who does she live with?
With her parents.
Her parents?
Yes, sir.
Come here, approach again briefly.
Yes.
I believe the defense is going to make an objection about emotion. The jury's not supposed to make decisions based on emotional sympathy, and it seems heartless. I am going to call out a little bit. I'm going to call out the prosecution here. They are just ripping the answers out of him one after another like he's a number. They know they've talked to him before. They know this is extremely hard for him. But they're just not.
You left your house at 2:03 a.m.
Bedside
Is that
manner
correct?
is just not there.
Yes, sir.
And she was driving home. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And she was driving down 281. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And when she was on 281, did she text you?
Yes, sir.
And do you recall what she texted you?
Object to hearsay, Your
If your response to hearsay?
It's a present sense impression, Your Honor. This is right before the accident happens. And the fact is...
All right. Foundation needs to be laid for present sense impression.
Okay, good. Let me start here then. Did she text you at some point?
Yes, sir.
And did she text you at 2:19 a.m.?
Yes, sir.
You want to be our first?
Yes.
This is immediately prior to the accident. This would be most likely once she's stopped in traffic.
I'm not sure what Smart stated.
Immediately before her car gets
Have you seen this
rear-ended.
document before?
Yes, sir.
Yes, speak up.
Yes, sir.
It's several pages. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And do you recognize this?
Yes, sir.
And what is this?
Me checking in on her, making sure she made it safely to her car and that she was going to make it home safely.
And this is the text chain between you and
Alex.
Alex.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And in this text chain, you're conversing with her. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you converse with her. It starts at around 2:03 a.m. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the last text you received from her is at 2:21 a.m. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then let me ask you this. Other than her telling you where she's at, how did you know where she was at?
I had her location and she had mine.
And can you explain to the jury what location means?
So pretty much on Find My iPhone, you can find where your family members, friends, whoever it may be, if they share access to that, you're able to see where they are.
And where was she located at?
281. Close. I want to say close to TPC and Stone Parkway, close by there.
And through that text chain, there's times associated with each text.
Yes, sir.
And after 2:21 a.m., you received no more texts from Alex. Is that correct?
Correct, sir.
And did her location change at at points?
No, sir.
Did you end up getting contacted later by somebody
Yes, sir.
indicating that she had been in an accident?
Yes, sir.
Did she send you a photo that night?
Yes, sir.
And what do you recall that photo being?
The traffic everyone was stopped on the highway.
And is this when she sent this to you when she was on the highway?
Yes, sir.
For the location that you saw?
Yes, sir.
I want to show you what's marked State Exhibit number 75. Is this the photo that she sent you?
Yes, sir.
And is this the photo that she sent you right before she stopped corresponding with you?
Yes, sir.
And is this the photo that she sent of the traffic that was on 281?
Yes, sir.
And this is one that you received from Alex that night?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, we'll ask you to offer the evidence State Exhibit number 75. We'll send the defense for any objections.
We approach your yes.
They object. This is brutal. Oh, judge goes full dark here. She's turned off the camera on the witness, probably out of respect for the witness, because it's quite emotional, as he would be. Man, The quick fire question I have a problem with. I just think that you're dragging this guy through some of the darkest time of his life, quite matter-of-factly. And maybe he's thinking that he's doing this to limit the amount of time that this
defense,
lasts.
you wanted to take the witness outside on voir dire outside the presence of the jury?
I would do, Judge. Can I briefly see the document that the
Yes.
witness has proposed? That's my name.
Meaning 70.
We have a proffer?
You mean 74, the photo?
No, this is State Exhibit number 74, Your Honor, the text chain that I was showing the witness.
I mean, it's good that it's outside the presence of the jury, because otherwise the jury's going to think this guy is a complete...
Mr. Ben, can I just ask a few questions? May I inquire very briefly, Judge?
Sure.
Can I approach the witness?
Yes. Yes, it is.
We have spoken to ask you a couple of questions. Do you remember speaking to the prosecutor before today?
Yes, sir.
And again, I don't mean to be insensitive. I'm very sorry for your loss. I am. But I've got a job to do. I have to ask you some questions. This text chain doesn't come from your cell phone. That's right, isn't it?
Correct, sir.
Because you deleted these off of your phone.
Yes, sir.
Right. And you deleted this picture off your cell phone.
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. And so these. States Exhibit 74. You can't say this is from your phone.
Not from my phone.
Right. But you recognise States Exhibit 75.
I recognise both of them.
All right.
Yes,
so
sir.
this isn't from your phone.
No, sir.
Okay. Neither is this. But you recognise 75. Right, okay. But you recall telling the prosecutor that you deleted all the stuff off your phone?
Yes, sir.
And you recall that moments before or at the same time that Ms. Siebert sent you a photograph of Stacey Exhibit 75, you'd agree with me that she told you she was thinking about turning around?
Yes, sir.
Judge, I've got no further questions.
Okay.
Yeah. No further questions, Judge.
All right.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. Well, I told the jury to come back at 4:08, so it's almost 4 o'clock. If anyone needs a short break, you could take it now.
Thank you.
The rule has been invoked. What that means is you can't discuss your testimony with anyone. If you need to speak to someone, you're only allowed to speak to attorneys for the state or the defense.
Okay, she kills the mics here. Thank you, Kaylee, for this. Says he's charged with manslaughter, no intoxication element, second-degree felony, 2 to 20 years prison time if convicted. Thank you, Kaylee, for digging that up for us. They've alleged intoxication, but it's not charged. That's interesting. And we are current. So we should be back in about a minute and a half on this one. Pauline Anna sent a lovely super chat. Let's see what we have. Sorry, I missed that. Pauline, thank you very much. That's just a quick thank you for always giving us all the info we ask for. You are number one. Thank you, Pauline. I have to say, I have to pass the thanks on, Pauline, because I have just an amazing group of moderators as well as a fantastic community who often are providing the answers for me faster than I can find them for you. And so thank you very much for the kind words, but really that thanks and appreciation should be spread much broader than just in my direction. So thank you very much. Oh man, this is a tough one. This testimony, I think my son is like yodeling in the hallway. He's the one that has perfect pitch. My 9-year-old has perfect pitch. And we haven't told him this, but he loves to he picked up the guitar and just taught himself how to play some songs on the guitar. He sits down at the piano and he's like, I just want to play a little bit. And he'll just, plunk around and make songs and learn things really well. And he sings like perfect. We must drive him nuts because none of the rest of us sing as well as he does. But I have perfect snitch. It's very similar Greeners, slightly different. But I was going to say he loves just experimenting with his voice, and sometimes he'll be just doing something, and he'll be like la, 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 and he'll just go out and he'll just make a sound, repeat it over and over. He's like, I think that sounds cool. He's 9. Love him. Bundle of energy. It's all I can do to keep him out of the top branches of every huge tree he finds. That kid is a monkey and a half. He's the one that climbed on top of our roof. Okay, just know we have a historic home, 1915 home. The 2 levels. The basement floor has an 11-foot ceiling. The upstairs floor has like a 9.5-foot ceiling, and then the roof is a 412 pitch, which means basically think of a 90-degree angle, or sorry, a 1212 pitch. Think of a 90-degree angle. That's the steepness of the roof, so 45 degrees. And he climbed out the window and onto the roof just to see if he could. Yeah, it's I have ulcers. I have ulcers because of him, but we love him anyway. All right. Quick recap of this case. This is a manslaughter trial where the defendant, Mr. Cortez, is charged with driving and causing the death, creating a car accident, or causing a car accident and killing the victim, Alexandra West, or Alex West. The victim was stopped in traffic based on the information we've had, although the last bit of testimony means that she might have been thinking about turning around or possibly was turning around, but every indication we had prior to this was that she was stopped in traffic. Because up ahead on her route home at 2 a.m. in the morning, this is down in Texas, there had been a wrong-way driver that had caused a crash. Not as serious as this crash, even though they can be very serious, that caused the freeway to come to a stop. Along comes Mr. Cortez doing 90 miles an hour, and this is in a construction zone, where the speed limit was 45. He's doing 90 and plows into this this Honda Civic that Miss West is in, and she, I believe, died at the scene.
All right, for the jury.
If you will bring the jury.
She died at the scene. He is saying it's not her fault because this accident wouldn't have happened, this is a defense argument, if it hadn't have been for that wrong-way driver. And also they say, and the other problem that caused this death is that the police didn't follow protocol in signaling and putting out warnings for oncoming traffic.
All right, everyone, please be seated. State, it's still your witness.
2 years ago. This is
Yes, Your Honor,
2022.
and I believe I'm going to reauthor State Exhibit number 75.
Any objection?
No objection.
All right, State's Exhibit number 75 is admitted without objection.
Thank you, Judge. How many published to the jury?
Yes.
Sorry, Neely. You're correct. Alexandra Shea West Sabert.
Let me ask some questions if you don't mind. I'll have State Exhibit number 75. This is what you received from Alex that night. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And as far as you know, well, one, do you recall or do you know now where the accident occurred? And I believe you said right before TBC on
Yes, sir.
31?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what are we looking at here? What do you notice this to be right here?
Brake lights. A lot of brake lights.
A lot of brake lights?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Everyone stopped in traffic.
And if you recall, I'm going to show you State Exhibit number 74. On that text string. It doesn't have the picture on there, but it shows a time that she sent this picture to you.
Yes, sir.
What time did she send it?
2:19.
And can you just speak up, please?
2:19.
Is that 2:19 a.m.?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And she stopped responding to you at 2:21 was her last response to you?
Yes, sir.
And let me ask you, what was her first text to you that night that occurred at 2:19:07 a.m.?
She said, bruh.
Bra?
Kind of like bro.
All right. And that, I guess for people who don't know, does that just mean what's up?
It's just like bro.
Okay. All right.
I think she was frustrated. That's just what she said when she.
And what did you respond to her about? Looks like 14 seconds later.
I said what?
And then, is that when you received this photo?
Yes, sir.
And then, what did she respond after she sent the photo?
She said closed as far as the eye could see, and she said literally people were turning around.
Okay, so that's two different texts. One says
Yes, sir.
closed as far as the eye can see, and the other one was literally people are turning around.
Yes, sir. Seconds later. If that.
And then what did you respond?
I said, what the fuck? Want to stay here?
Well, you didn't say.
Or WTF.
Okay. I mean, I knew what that one meant.
Yeah.
But I just want to make sure that you're, and then you asked, what did you ask her?
I asked her if she wanted to stay here at my place, like, turn around and come back.
And then what did she respond to you?
She said on the fucking highway, saying that people were trying to turn around on the highway.
Okay. And what did you respond after you received that?
I told her you're welcome to.
And what did you mean by that?
You're welcome to come back and stay at my place.
And then at 2:20 a.m., 2:20 and 16 seconds a.m., what did she respond?
She responded, no, it's okay.
And what's that? Is there an emoji or something on there?
Yeah, it just looks like the smiling with the teardrop right here, maybe just like saying
Okay.
she was stressed, didn't know what to do, but didn't want to turn around.
And then and then you go on to ask her what?
I said, how are you going to get home? And she responded, I might turn around if it doesn't move soon.
She said, I might turn around if it doesn't move soon. Granted, she said she was on the highway.
Yes, sir.
And this photo, actually, Judge, may I publish it to the jury? I think
Yes, sir.
already asked, 75. And in fact, 76. I want to offer state exhibit. Oh, let me get it confirmed through. This is just for the purpose for the easel here, but state exhibit number 76, I'm gonna show it just to the witness. Is this a large copy of the state exhibit number 75?
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna ask to enter this into evidence, Your Honor, for the purpose that we can put on the easel. It's a bigger version of what we have on a small piece of paper. We'll tender to defense for any objections.
And it is cumulative, Judge, but no objection.
All right, and the number, please?
Number 76. Your
It's
Honor.
cumulative, but no
State's
objection.
Exhibit 76 is admitted
That is
without
an objection.
objection.
Cumulative.
Now, she's on the highway, obviously,
Yes, sir.
and she stated she's on the fucking highway, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. And so she's caught behind these vehicles, see tail lights, and then she says it's okay. So then you ask her after she says, I might turn around if it doesn't move soon. And what do you say?
I said, and come back here, right?
And then after that, it's all you. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And then,
All right, if you have a legal objection, make it.
I do to relevance, Judge, and reading from a document that's not in evidence.
All right, that'll be sustained.
you can't read directly from it, but if you can refresh your memory.
Let me know if I miss
just
any
go ahead and read
objections.
your
I've got
text,
help.
okay?
Sorry if
And
I
then
just-
don't read it off there.
I got you.
Did you respond to her at 2:28 a.m. at 15 seconds?
Yes, sir.
And what do you say?
Pretty sure I told her and come back here right again. And I kept reminding her that she could come back here and it's not a problem.
Okay, you can look at this piece of paper, okay? You just don't read
I can't
directly
read
from
it
it.
verbatim.
That's what the
Okay.
objection was, okay? I talk, then you talk,
Yes,
all
sir.
right? But did you respond ever to something, asking her, you better not fall asleep?
Yes, sir.
And what time was that at?
That was at 2:28. And then I said, "You okay, baby?" at 2:34.
And then did you respond, did you also send something at 2:39?
Yes, sir.
And what did you send?
Babe.
Judge, I'm
Just a
going
question
to,
mark.
sorry, Judge, I'm going to object again. The same.
Sustained.
objection. Thank you.
Again, you can look at it, then you can look up and respond. The objection means that you can't read directly from this document. It's not in evidence, okay? Okay. Did you also respond after that one?
Yes, sir.
And what time was that at?
2:54.
And what did you respond at that time?
Her name, or another version of her name.
And then on this last part that we have on this particular document, did you also send another text around 2:54 and 32 seconds?
Yes, sir. I said, practically saying,
Judge, same objection. Witness.
Sustained.
Thank you.
Remember, you can refresh your memory. Just don't read directly from it and then answer the question, okay? What did you respond to her at that time then?
saying I was hoping she wasn't on the road asleep.
And you said asleep a couple times. When she left your house, was she tired?
No, sir.
And I mean, it's 2:00 in the morning. And how do you know she wasn't tired?
Because I always made sure before she went back home that she guaranteed that she was going to go back home every time she came over. She always wanted to go back to her dog. So I always told her she's going to go back home late to at least take a nap or something before.
And so like, this is something that she normally did.
Yes, sir.
Has she ever fallen asleep before?
No, sir.
Did you ever let her go when she was tired?
No, sir.
When she left your house, were her eyes open?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Was she on using any type of drug like marijuana?
No, sir.
Was she drinking excessively?
No, sir.
And at your house, did y'all do, did y'all work out or anything like that?
No, we were just watching movies on the couch.
So relatively relaxing day.
Yes, sir.
And she was going home that night.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, Judge. May I approach you?
Yes.
I'm going to show you what's been marked today, exhibit number 78. Who is that?
Alex Saber,
And on that particular day, what was she doing?
taking graduation pictures.
And after that, this was a couple months before this accident happened, this crash, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm going to show you what's Park State exhibit number 79. Do you know who that is in that picture?
Yes, sir. Alex Saber,
And where is she at in that picture?
hospital.
And do you know when that picture was taken?
The same night or morning.
The morning of?
Yeah, the crash.
This last picture I'm going to show you is State exhibit number 77. Do you know who's in that picture?
Sir, Alex Saber.
And this is Alexander, Alex, the individual that you were dating that you're talking about today. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Thank
We're going to need to approach on it.
He hasn't offered anything yet.
No. I will offer State exhibit number 78, Judge.
No objection to 78.
All right, 78 is admitted without objection.
Can I send it to the
Yes.
jury for publication?
Yes.
No, we'll pass the witness.
Defense?
Mr. Ben, once again, we're very sorry for your loss, sir. That's genuine. With no further questions, thank you.
All right, is this witness excused or subject to recall?
Excuse for us, Judge, no objection.
Excuse for us,
All right, the rule has been invoked. What that means, you cannot discuss your testimony with anyone. If there's someone you need to speak to, you're only allowed to speak to attorneys for the state or the defense. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you may step down. You're excused. All right, who is the next witness? And how long do y'all expect this witness to be?
I think maybe 15 minutes.
All right. Are you all okay with remaining for the next witness? All right. So call your next witness.
State calls Leslie Salazar.
Yeah, you're right, Judge. You died. Okay. All right, that's fine. Can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand. You can have a seat. You're going to have to keep your voice up so the members of the jury can hear and the court reporter can hear. If you'll state your name for the record and spell it.
My name is Leslie Salazar, LESLIESALAZAR.
All right, and pull the microphone to you if you need to. State.
And Leslie, can you just make sure just that you're close enough to the microphone that everyone can hear you?
Yes.
And just a little closer just because I'm having trouble.
Yes.
Okay. Leslie, what side of town, well, do you live in San Antonio?
Yes.
What side of town do you live on?
Stone Oak, north side,
So do you often have to take 281 to get home?
every time.
And have you ever had to call 911 while going home on 281?
Yes.
I'm going to approach was what's been marked as safety exhibit number 80. Leslie, do you recognize this disc?
Yes.
What is this?
My 911 phone call.
And again, can you speak just a little louder?
Yes. My 911 phone call.
And have you had a chance to listen to the call that's on this disc?
Yes.
And is this a true and accurate copy of the call you made that night?
Yes.
Your Honor, State would offer State's exhibit number 80 into evidence.
Any objection?
No objection, Judge.
All right, State's Exhibit number 80 is admitted without objection.
Here's the publish.
Granted.
San Antonio 911, this is Tori, do you need police, fire, or EMS?
I think the police, is heading to 81 North. I don't know if you know, but there's I believe a car accident or something happened. But, at the end, I got off the freeway because I knew that there was like all the cars stopped. And I had my windows down and I heard it screech and then I heard like a crash and there was like dust. So I think there's a car that crashed that's behind the entire line of people waiting to get through. I just want to make sure.
Where is that though? That car that you're talking about?
Let me see if I can figure out the exit that I left, because it's like, oh my gosh, I have no clue. Can I tell you what's like around me?
Are you next to the vehicle that was involved in the accident?
No, I was getting off the freeway. I got off the freeway. And so I had my windows down and I heard like, I feel like your tires maybe popped or something because I can hear like the tires like dun 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 when it was going on the freeway. So I looked at it. I got to the stop and I heard like a screech and then a poof and then there was like smoke.
Yes, but
so I think the car crashed that.
I'm showing you on Stono. Did you exit on Stono?
Yes.
Do you think the vehicle's somewhere near there?
Yes, I'm probably like on the freeway right across from it. I parked.
Do you think it's on the northbound side?
Yes, it is. It's by there's like a plaza, like a Target and stuff like that. It's right there. Yeah, like that. The freeway. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm so bad at saying this. I just really don't know. You know what? I can see if I can like act like I'm getting back on the freeway to see that I pull.
Yeah, it's okay, Malcolm. I'll just send someone to look around the area. What's your name and phone number?
My name is Leslie Belazar. And my phone number is 210-286-6947. I don't know if that was too bad.
A line of cars. What do you mean by that?
I guess the freeway was blocked off by an accident way ahead. And so there was just cars, I guess, waiting for the accident to go ahead and be moved over to get through.
And how many cars were there?
Maybe like 100 to 200 cars.
And how far away could you see these cars while you were driving on the highway?
Pretty far.
Were you able to exit in time before you reached the traffic?
Yes.
Do you remember what exit did you take before, in order to get off the highway?
I don't remember.
You also remember, you described in that call an HEB truck.
Yes.
Can you describe, what do you mean by an HEB truck?
Like a semi truck, the delivery trucks with like the HEB logo on it.
Leslie, I want you to step down really quickly. Well, I'm going to show you what's already been marked as State Exhibit number 76. Now, I know I haven't shown you this photo before, but do you recognize anything that you see in this photo? Saw that night? Can you say it louder? You can have a seat. So where were you when you heard this crash?
I was getting off the freeway and I made like a left turn. And while I was like under the freeway, it's when I heard like a tire pop because my windows were down. And then I passed the light and I looked behind because I can kind of hear like what I assumed to be like a rim going like dun, dun, dun. So I just looked back. I couldn't see anything because I was, again, the freeway's like high up and I was like under it, but just in case. And so I just looked back and then I heard it screech and then like slide and hit the wall. What I assumed to be the wall, just because there was like either smoke or debris, dust, whatever. And then that's when I called 911.
And why did you call 911?
Just because, I mean, there was already an accident, so I thought dispatch would be like on site. And with people coming, I thought they would kind of get lost in the middle of everything. So I just wanted somebody to be aware that something happened in case somebody was injured or anything like that.
And when you exited before the traffic buildup, was anyone else exiting around you? Were there any other cars?
Yeah, there was a ton of cars trying to exit.
Pass the witness.
Defense.
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Ms. Salazar. My name is Jasmine Olguin. I'm one of Mr. Castro's attorneys. I just have a couple of questions for you.
Yes.
First, kind of the scene and what it looked like. So when you're driving on the highway, before you exit, you kind of see some sort of commotion going on ahead of you.
Yes.
But you described other cars also turning around.
Going in reverse.
So they were going the wrong way.
They are going the opposite way.
To exit from that point. And did you see any police flares right before that accident?
So the accident, like I said, was way ahead. So I assumed dispatch was on site. I didn't know because there was all these cars and I exited to just avoid all that.
So from where you weren't able to see if there was any police flares?
Mm-mm.
And were you able to see if there were any police lights, the blue and red ones?
No.
Were you able to see any police officers wearing vests from your point of view?
No.
And you mentioned that you were aware there was an accident. Were you aware that that accident that caused this buildup was because of a wrong way driver?
No.
Were you aware that this accident was caused because a potential intoxicated driver was going the wrong way on the highway?
No.
And were you aware that that driver was named Shayna Lassel?
I'm going to object to relevance.
No.
Sustained.
So you weren't aware of the reasons for this initial accident. You got off and you said you saw about maybe 100 or 200 cars in front of you?
Yes.
And you called 911 because you felt that people would be lost in the middle of everything and you wanted police to be aware of that.
Yeah.
And you hoped that with your call, police could protect this scene and help those people that were stuck in traffic.
Yeah, more so like a clue of where they would be at. Like I said, there was just a ton of cars.
No further questions, Your Honor. Pass the witness.
Just one question on redirect, Judge. Leslie, is it fair to say that it would have been fairly obvious to anyone?
Objection, Your Honor. Speculation.
All right, let me hear the question, then you can make your objection. Then I'll answer. They're going to ask a question. The defense may make an objection. When you see either party stand, you need to stop speaking. All right, state.
So Leslie, is it fair to say that it would have been fairly obvious to anyone that there was traffic on that highway?
Objection, Your Honor. Speculation.
Sustained. Don't answer. That's what that means.
Were you able to tell that there was traffic on that highway?
Yes,
And so is that why you exited?
yes.
How many
And
objections?
again, there were
I heard
other cars
2. Are there
exiting. Is
more?
that correct?
Yes.
Nothing from the state judge.
Defense, any recross?
Yes, Your Honor. So, Ms. Salazar, there were cars that were trying to get away from this traffic that were reversing back to get off.
Yes.
And you would agree that that could be a confusing scene for anybody?
I'm going to object to speculation.
Sustained.
You would agree that you called 911 because you wanted them to be aware of this situation that was confusing and ongoing?
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor. Not the witness.
Nothing from the state judge.
All right, is this witness excused or subject for recall?
Excuse from us, Judge.
Excuse from the state judge.
All right, the rule has been invoked. What that means is you're not allowed to discuss your testimony with anyone. If you're speaking to anyone, the only persons you're allowed to speak to are attorneys for the state or the defense. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you may step down. All right, and state your next witness. How long are you anticipating?
Relatively short, Judge.
All right, call your next witness.
The state calls Jonathan Rodriguez.
I'm Googling how to fix things right now. I think we might have had a blown fuse, possibly on the furnace control board.
All right, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record and spell it, please.
Jonathan Rodriguez, JONATHANRODRIGUEZ.
All right, make sure you keep your voice up so members of the jury and the court reporter can hear. State.
Mr. Rodriguez, what side of town do you live on?
North 1604.
Bad side?
Near the Stone Oak area.
So in order to get home,
Good
is it
side.
fair to say that you'd have to take 281?
Yes.
How often do you have to drive on 281?
I want to say at least once a week.
And I'm going to approach what's been marked as State Exhibit number 81. Do you recognize this disc?
Yes.
How do you recognize it?
This is you guys showed me this when I came to visit.
Yeah, and what's on this disc?
The 911 call that my wife made.
And is it a true and accurate copy of the call that the 911 call that your wife made?
Yes.
Your Honors, state what offer states exhibit number 81.
Any objection?
We do, Judge. If the state is offering a 911, we can approach her from here.
What's the objection?
Well, we've got a right to confront the witness who is the caller, and this is the wrong witness.
State.
Your Honor, I can clarify.
All right.
So, Mr. Rodriguez, were you present when your wife made that 911 call?
Yes.
And why did your wife make that 911 call?
Because I was driving.
And you listened to the call, and is it correct for me to say that everything that you said on the call, or that your wife said on the call, is something that you told her?
Correct.
And do we actually hear you on the 911 call?
We do.
So again, is it fair to say you were present for the 911 call? And, well, what exactly are you talking about on the 911 call?
The accident that we witnessed.
And so you're calling 911 to report an accident?
Correct.
Again, Your Honor, state would reoffer state's exhibit number 81.
Judge, it's hearsay, and without a witness to support it, that we.
Can you talk louder? I'm sorry.
Sorry, man, it's that what I think is on that.
All right, so let me stop everybody. Have you heard the 911, Kate?
Yes, I have, Judge, and
Okay.
it's the witness has stated that it's his wife he was present, but if the state is playing that 911 call, then we should be able to have an opportunity to cross-examine her, Judge. I've got no problem with this witness testifying, and we can talk about his perceptions.
All right,
but
so
objection
here's
to
the
that.
thing. Everyone, we're going to make legal objections. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we're going to stop for today. We're going to come back tomorrow. We're going to start back tomorrow at 1:30. You've heard some evidence in this case. You're not allowed to start talking about what you've heard You're not allowed to think about this case outside of this courtroom. Do not Google anything. Do not try to do your own research. Everything that you're to know about this case is to come from inside this courtroom and nowhere else. Does everyone understand?
Yes.
All right, so we'll be back tomorrow at 1:30. We can go off the record. 1:30, what ends up happening is usually people will go to lunch, and I call it going off campus. A lot of people will leave the parking garage at 12:15 to go off campus for lunch. So spaces will open up. So if you make it here by 12:30, there'll probably be a space available for you. If you try to cut it close and say, I'll be here at 1:15, that's when other people are trying to make it back to come back to work, and other jurors are trying to make it back if they have to come back. Again, you all know what's available for you in the jury room. So
she just killed her mic. All right, so they're going to be possibly done for the day. I'll leave the mic, the audio on in case they come back and say anything. I might be a couple behind on the objection. I was outside for a bit. I discovered, hey, guess what? We have some really cool vines that like our AC unit. That's terrible. We also have, actually turn that off. They're done. I also have, we have an Ecobee. When we got our new AC a couple of years ago, we got the Ecobee thermostat for running our AC and our heat. And the screen is black. That means there's not sufficient voltage coming to the screen, which tells me there's something wrong, probably with the furnace control board, is my guess. Good news, those are anywhere between $50 and $900, so hopefully it's on the lower end. But I should be able to run some tests with a multimeter and see if it has the proper voltage. I'm probably not frying myself in the process. So that's what we get to do next. Yay for that. Love old houses. Don't recommend them, but love them. And yes, I'm sweating just a wee bit. It's only up to about 85. It's rapidly heating up in here. So that's unless one of you happens to be a HVAC repair technician. I'm sure I can get one here next week, which we'll be out of state for. But that's about the lead time it takes to get a HVAC guy to come around. It's during the summer in North Carolina. All my equipment has its own fans. It's beautiful. I mean, this runs a little bit hot, but we'll see. I'm HVAC, says Donnie. Yeah, so we've got a voltage issue. I know that because the thermostat's black. There's no power to the thermostat. And we've checked the breakers. No breakers have tripped. I've reset them. I went out and tried to check and replace and check the breaker for the AC unit outside, which doesn't power. I don't think that's a problem. So I think I put it back in the original position. I couldn't see. I was like blindly flipping the switch. I think it's in the right position. And Mrs. R.A. is like, Donnie. But anyway, we're gonna wrap things up for the day, and well, we're done with this job, but the next one is just starting. And now my computer's not working. Look at that. Boom, boom. Let's turn that off. DSK. There we go. Okay, a little better. All right. So I'm going to throw some socks and shoes on because I've been operating barefoot all day and run back outside, get rid of those vines that have loved our radiator on our AC, and work my new job as a HVAC technician. That's exciting. Last year, a mouse chewed through my AC wire outside. Don't say that, Melanie. Currently we don't have mice, but we had a mouse come in the house before, and we had to exterminate them. Battery in the thermostat? No, it's powered from there's no battery in that one. It's powered from the furnace, I believe. Court did end. They called a break where they were. They had a whole batch of objections. We're up to 51 today, probably a couple more that I missed. I'm not sure if you guys counted those while I was gone. I hoped you would, but we had some spicy stuff. So we're going to play some music. I'm going to get a towel and dry off my sweat, and then I'm going to go to work. Laura, I love learning new things. I just don't like being forced to learn to do new things in an environment that I didn't choose. But that's what it is. It's so hot. It's so hot outside, and it's so hot inside now. All right, tonight when you go home, please hug the people you love, smile at someone to make their day just a little bit better, and please stay safe and cool until we come back tomorrow. We have court hopping in the morning, 1:30 in the afternoon. We're going to pick up the court case because Judge Boyd has a regular docket in the morning. Then after lunch, we'll pick up this court case. It might be done tomorrow. That might be our last day of testimony. It might also go all the way through Friday, so we'll see. You guys are amazing. Thank you very much. Thanks for our amazing mods. If Bug Dugger, we might need a call. Not going to stream the AC feed, no, because too many cursey words for YouTube. That's why. All right, you guys are amazing. Have a wonderful evening. We will see you in the morning. Bye-bye.
I think I'm about the casual woman. I'm not a camel.
This is not Burger King. People do not get to have it their way.
Because he's the guy.
I was kicked back, taking it easy.